Hey BookTube, it's Melissa. So it has been a hot minute again since I have given you an update on what I've been reading and doing, and I wanted to come on here today and do just that. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll get right into it with the books and all kinds of things. So anyway, since we last talked, I discovered a new series, which may not be new to many of you. I think this has been out for a number of years now, but it's the Wayward Children's series by Seanan McGuire. I keep wanting to say McLaughlin. It's Seanan McGuire. So this is a series of books that are really tailored towards a YA or audience, but they have lessons and themes that are really resonant with adults, really with readers of all ages, probably starting with, I would say maybe like 14 years old up maybe or so. But it's a great series of books about these children who they somehow disappear, right? They discover a door that leads to a different world other than, obviously the one that they live in. They're usually very unhappy where they are in school or whatever, and that's because they identify as a little bit different than everyone else. So they might identify on the LGBTQ, they might, identify as ace or, feel that, they might identify as trans. I mean, so it really runs the gamut about, their different situations. So in their worlds, they get to know who they are and are accepted for who they are. And it's like this magical place, but they can't really stay there. They can either stay there forever or they go back to their homes. And so in the cases where they go back to their homes, sometimes they've been gone for like 2 years and their parents think that they've run away or been kidnapped or died, and they're very upset to have come back to the world that they feel like wasn't accepting them. So so they come back and they are then sent to Eleanor West's home for wayward children, which purports to be a school where they are, set on the right path, but it's really a school where other kids have been to other worlds, and they have also found themselves a community of, people that understand what it's like to not belong, and they're kind of like a found family, which is really how I discovered this series. I'm participating in Book Riot's Read Harder Challenge, and I think that was one of the prompts, either that or Pop Sugar. I'm doing both. So so a book about a found family was part of this, and I think it is Book Riot. So it was suggested as one of the books, and I'm really glad it was. So I have the first edition that I read a couple weeks ago. This was actually one of my Shorty September books. And look at the cover. The covers are just gorgeous. I love the typeface. I love the design with the doors and the light, and I think it's fantastic. So I read Every Heart a Doorway, which is, like I said, the first one in the series for Shorty September. And I also read the second one, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, for Shorty September as well. I should just also recap real quick and say I didn't do a Shorty September recap. And I feel like now mid-October is a little bit too late for one, but I wound up reading 10 books for Shorty September, which was more than I usually read during a month. So it was a great success, and I had a great time. So thank you to the hosts of that. So that was my big discovery during Shorty September. So this week, what have I read this week? Well, continuing again on with the Wayward Children series, I had a long drive on Tuesday. I dropped off, I took our son back to college, and that is a 4-hour drive one way. So usually when I have him in the car, we talk politics or, general state of the world kind of things. Then on the opposite end of the trip, I have 4 hours to myself to listen to whatever I want, which is usually an audiobook, and there's some really great ones that are 4 hours long. Fortunately, one of them is the third installment of the Wayward Children series, and Beneath the Sugar Sky, again, gorgeous cover. And this is the story of one of the characters who we met in Every Heart a Doorway, and they go to a different world. They go on an adventure to a different world, which is a literal candy land. So the descriptions are very you can kind of just taste the sugar on the page. It is, so I really liked this one as a audiobook. Thought it was exactly 4 hours or just maybe a little bit over, and so it worked well for my purposes. It was a long drive at night, from 6 to 10. So kept me entertained and awake, and I really enjoyed that. So that is what I finished that in just one trip. So that was fantastic. And I'm purposely not telling too much about these because, if you have not discovered this series, it's really ones that you might want to discover for yourself. So I'm drinking some homemade iced chai tea latte. I just finished doing a bunch of chores, and that was my reward, making myself some homemade iced coffee and getting to talk to you, and then later on reading some books. Anyway, and then I also listened to In an Absent Dream. This is book number 4 in the Wayward Children series. And again, gorgeous cover. Let me just try to, see. In the Wayward, In an Absent Dream. So this is this is billed as a standalone fantasy tale in the series, but I think it doesn't feel like a standalone to me. I feel like it is truly a book 4 in the series because you really do, it is part of the continuum of it. So anyway, I'd love to hear if you have read this and what you think of this series. And this is very much not my typical book. First of all, I don't do series. I just don't. I prefer my books to be one-offs. I have a hard time following a series. I have to kind of binge them, right? Because if it takes me another year to get back to it, then I feel like I've forgotten what has gone on or whatever. So, but I do feel like I need a little bit of a break from this right now. So, and that's what I'm going to wind up doing. So also this week I read How to Keep House While Drowning, which is a gentle approach to cleaning and organizing. It's by Casey Davis, and she is a Instagram influencer. She's also on TikTok, which I am not. I am really holding out from joining TikTok. It is not something that appeals to me very much, if at all. So I'm trying not to do that because I really don't need one more social media thing in my life. But this book is, I don't know if it was written before she kind of came onto the scene of TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but I follow her on Instagram, and her approach is, she is a therapist, and she speaks very openly about that. Also talks very openly about her past as an addict, and she has she has a lot of really good tips in here about being motivated to do like work around the house. I think I may have said in other videos that like that is like a huge struggle for me. When it comes time to the weekends, there is nothing I would prefer to do less than, clean the bathrooms or the litter box or any of that stuff. And it's really kind of a challenge. And it's become kind of more like a motivational thing. And, I just, have a hard time doing it. But this book talks about how rest is a right, and it also addresses the guilt that we feel when our houses aren't completely perfect, or or up to like our standards, or up to our family standards, like the family we grew up with or whatever. And so I think it's also very short. The chapters are very short. The type is really small though too. There's a big section in the beginning about inclusivity, and talking about how the book is also tailored towards people who are neurotypical. But ironically, I kind of thought that the type was a little bit too small for that purpose. Anyway, so I read this. I liked it. I got some good tips out of it. I mean, one of them is to use like the Clorox wand for your toilet, which I do, and to do the same for your, usually like a separate wand thing for your sink. And anyway, so there's like some little tips on that. There's not as many as I thought, but it is really it is worthwhile reading, I think. And it's also really short. This one of my Shorty September books? No, it was not, because I finished it this week. Okay, so that is what I have been reading. Okay, and so what do I have currently going on? So I am still reading The Best American Food Writing 2021. I love the Best American series of books, Best American Essays, Best American Short Stories. Every year I try to read the series, so I am in the middle of this anthology right now, and it has been taking me a little bit a while, but maybe I may finish it today, not sure. It's really overdue back to the library, and but I'm liking this collection a lot. There are a lot of similar themes to this: the pandemic, climate change, supply chain issues. So yeah. But I recommend this if that's something that you're interested in. This is also a prompt for one of my challenges too. But like I said, I would be reading it anyway. I really do like this. And I also have just started last night, Celeste Ng's Our Missing Hearts, which I really love her books. I have liked her first two. I really liked Little Fires Everywhere, which I know people are either hit or miss on. Also had the chance to meet her at an event. This was pre-pandemic. We hosted her, I think, for Pittsburgh Arts and Lectures. And so I will try to find the photo of me and her from the event and insert it here, if I possibly can. But anyway, so I am not too far into this right now. I am only on page 23. And so far it is the story about a boy named Bird. His real name is Noah, but he goes by Bird. And his mother is missing. She left the family. She is, I want to make sure I get this right. She is Chinese American. She is a poet, and she left when he was very young, and now he is like 12 or something. He's living with his father, and they're just kind of making their way through life. He was formerly a linguistics professor, but now he's working shelving books at the library. This is set in a future that is not far off. It is dystopian. There's references to a crisis that has happened in America. There are references to singing an anthem every day, and to a group called PACT, which is what is it? She does explain what that is, but they are kind of like a nationalist type of group. Anyway, so far I'm really enjoying that, hoping to spend some time with this today. And like I said, I really love her books and her writing, and big fan of Celeste Ng, and looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. Also from the library this week, I picked up Hester, and this is by Laurie, Lico, Albanese, and this is a retelling of Hester Prynne, and it has to do with she meets Nathaniel Hawthorne, and it's about the Salem witch trials, and I think that this will be perfect going into Halloween week. I know that Kim from Middle of the Book March also has this on her shelves, and so this has been on my want to read list for a little while, and looking forward to that. I'm glad that I got that from the library. And I also picked up Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan, mainly because of Jennifer Finney Boylan. I love everything that she writes. I think that she is a fantastic author. She is an advocate for trans rights, and I just think that her writing is brilliant. She's also from Philly, so as Michelle said, go Birds. So like I said, I usually don't read Jodi Picoult's books that much. I have read some of them in the past, but she's not really a go-to author for me. I am really interested in this one, again, because of Jennifer Finney Boylan's contributions to this, for her being a co-writer. So yeah, so that is about it. This is going on 17 minutes right now, so that's about that's getting too long. So I hope all you are doing well, that you are finding good stuff to read, and that everything as well. So leave me a comment below. Let me know if you have read the Wayward children's series, if you've read any of the other books that I talked about, and let me know what's going on. And I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thanks. Bye.